Hey, my tribe. This is Queen Amina Black Love coming at you with a review for Married at First Sight, season number 12, episode number 7. How do you know you're in love? This episode pretty much dealt with, the honeymoon is now over. So we're going back home to real life. And this is only, of course, the 7th day that they've been married. So it's about to get real now. They're going back to, live together. And it sort of started out with them, visiting each other's apartments or homes, and just seeing, what they lived like, on a day-to-day basis. And then, of course, they've got the next 7 weeks out of this 8-week thing. They have to live together in an apartment picked by the show for them to live in. So it showed each other's living quarters. And then they went to move into their joint apartments together. And so when we're talking about moving in together with Eric and Virginia, is who we want to talk about first. The issues that we're going to see with them is she's got cats and Eric wants to say he's allergic to them, but whatever. So that may be a problem for them. And then, of course, the same thing, Victoria wanting to pretty much go and do what she wants to do. She's telling Eric that she needs alone time. And Eric is like, well, that's not going to be a big issue because my job already supplies what you need, when we're talking about that. And he sarcastically said to her, oh, just schedule me when you need that alone time and I'll make sure I'm working. So along with that, this was also an episode where the couple sat down and talked with Pastor Cal. And for Eric and Virginia, their main point of contention is what it always has been. Their lifestyle differences. He works, he's going to be out, working on a consistent basis, and somehow Virginia just doesn't get the idea you're now married. The things that you used to do, you cannot do anymore. She thinks for some reason that it's okay for her to sleep, spend the night on her friend's couch, even though he's male. And Pastor Cal had to let her know, listen, I'm a married man. That wouldn't be okay for me. But she sort of thinks that Eric is being controlling and he's just trying to let her know, you're married now. You need to be more accountable. She thinks it's overprotective, but he's just trying to get her in the frame of you're a married woman. You can't do the things that you used to do anymore. So she seems to be really immature when it comes to that subject and that topic. She pretty much just still thinks she can drink and hang out and do whatever. And like I said, she can because he's going to be, and like Eric mentioned, he's a pilot, so he's going to be gone for days at a time. So I think it's going to be a rough spot. But if Virginia sort of matures a little bit and sort of gets the understanding that I am a married woman, she wants to say he thinks it's temporary and it's a phase. But no, she says that's who she is. So they seem to like each other a whole lot. So I maybe she'll come around and make those adjustments. And again, like I said, it's not going to be major for her because Eric's not going to be there most of the time. So let's talk about Clara and Ryan. As far as them moving in together, I didn't see anything that would be totally odd or major problems for them. They're already talking about the compromise. She went to his home and found out he wasn't quite as organized as she thought. But, they're already talking about, okay, you don't like to fold clothes and put away clothes. You wash and dry and I'll fold and I'll put away. She also talked a lot about, trying to be regimented because he goes to bed at a certain time and she, could stay up all night. She likes TV. He doesn't want any TV in the room. She likes the fan. He doesn't really necessarily like the fan, but they're coming to the compromise that we'll be in a cold, dark room and we'll work it out. So when they met with Dr. Cal, it was pretty much what they always say. Oh, everything's great. It's wonderful. We're not having any problems, no disagreements about anything. But we wanted to talk to you about, why aren't we having disagreements? And he had to let them know, oh, you'll have them. You may not be having them now, but you'll have them. And back to that same topic where they talk about him never being in love and she falling head over heels in love. And Pastor Cal sort of gave him a new different definition for love. Love is not necessarily a feeling, but a commitment. And you've already said you're committed to being with her. So, we can probably look at that as love, because that's really what it is. And of course, Claire, was talking about how, she falls head over heels and that type of thing. And Dr. Cal just wanted him, asserted to Ryan that he should know, that he's not going to take advantage of that and hurt her any type of way. So, they seem to still have not consummated the marriage. Clara says they're doing other things. She's learning to wait, that type of thing. And Ryan is still on that vein where he wants to wait until it's something that he can't explain to sort of feel like he's in love. But anyway, they're in the same little vein there. Nothing, exciting or dramatic. Even moving in with each other, like I said, I don't think they're going to have a whole lot of problems settling in, and getting to know each other pretty well. So now let's talk about Vincent and Briana. They, of course, visited each other's apartments and, checked out the living arrangements. They both liked each other's living arrangements. Vincent just says he was kind of overwhelmed with that packed closet, and it looks like a mini mall in her closet. It suggested she donated, something. There was like a silence. Oh, I'm joking. But, when they met with Dr. Cal, their story was everything's great. Vince says she completes me. And Bree, feels that he could be her forever person. They talked about having kids and, the fact that they found the person that they could live the rest of their life with. But then a point of contention came up. They were packing and popping bottles, and Vincent, made a mistake and dropped, champagne on the floor. And Bree, kind of made a little joke. And he immediately was, drawn back. Like, he's very, very sensitive. So now we're getting to see the real Vince. Of course, she didn't feel like she said anything that bad. She felt like, she was just joking. And I kind of felt like she was joking too, but he didn't take it that way. So he later on went to explain that it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. And then he is not too afraid of the talking, but he's afraid how he'll react. So their communication styles are different. So that's going to be a point of contention for them. And a surprise for us was he walked out. He left. Packed a little bag and left. So I guess we'll see next week what comes of that. And I'm still rooting for them. I still believe they'll make it, but we'll see. Let's talk about Jacob and Haley. They're not connecting at all. After the sex they had, there's no physical connection. Of course, they visited each other's home, and he's 80s this, 80s that, really odd. So when they met with Dr. Cal, of course, she was explaining to him everything that happened. That night when she went out to girls' night, he sort of blew up on her and told her she had a boyfriend at home already. So when they came back home, Haley changed seats, didn't even fly right next to him. She sat on the other side of the plane. By the time they got home, they started talking again, but it was the same argument. And Jacob just straight up told her, you're a liar. Haley, you're a liar. This is BS. And it did make it seem like she was trying to be a little manipulative, saying that, she couldn't stand that. And the true thing is that she doesn't like him. When they met with Dr. Cal, she was saying that he asked her what would he need to do to make her come back around. And she basically said no 80s, which is his thing. She went in his house. Everything was 80s. Everything was neon. No neon, no 80s, no steak, no eggs, no Jacob, period. But at the end of the session, they asked that they want to make it work. They both want to make it work. I don't think so. So, like I said, and I've been saying, I don't think this couple's going to make it. We'll see at the end, but there's just no spark, no connection there. And they've even gotten to the point where they, blowing up at each other. They sleep in their own separate beds. So they're probably waiting out the next 7 weeks, and that'll be it for them. So we'll just wait and see. Okay, this always makes me sigh. But let's talk about Chris and Paige. Oh my God. Paige moved into their apartment alone because Chris decided that he wanted to immediately take a flight to Chicago when they landed in Atlanta. Typical Chris. I'm not surprised about anything he does anymore. And I'm also not surprised about the way Paige received it, because even in this, she's saying she's willing to give him the space to go to Chicago. Go to Chicago to do what? So if you remember from the very beginning, Chris wanted a submissive woman and a freak. So it looks like he's found his submissive freak in Paige, because when she sits down and talks to Dr. Cal, she talks about how she's laying it on everything that he's done, and we all know the story. I don't even want to go on and on about it. But of course, she's found out that his ex-fiance, and I always say it's his fiance because I think she's still with him. But she goes on about how she found out she was pregnant, and how she had unprotected sex with Chris over and over again, even after finding out all this thing. But we did find out that it was protected sex. Thank God for that. So she's saying she's rejected, feels rejected by Chris. Of course, he's been rejecting him. So halfway through this session with Dr. Cal, in he comes. And I'm telling you, this guy sat there with a smirk on his face the whole time. So she's saying how she feels like he threw a bomb in her face and he dragged her. And he's saying, no, he didn't. That's not, wasn't his intent. And then he says he's still in love with the fiance, but he doesn't even know if the relationship will work. So, after they went through all of that, and she found out, he's going to divorce her. He's already talked to an attorney, that type of thing. At the end of the session, this dude whispered in Paige's ear and told her that his spirit is falling in love with her. Here comes Paige. She's drawn back in. She's still confused and still wants to find out what needs to, what she can do, or she needs the strength to walk away. And even towards the end there, when he was packed up and was leaving because he said he was going to divorce her, she's standing there. And then she finally said, I'm going to walk away. And of course, he walked away as soon as she said that. But if he would have stood there with her, they may have been back in the room, making their marriage strong again is what they call it, connecting more. But anyway, y'all, this is crazy. Next time, we're looking at what's going on next time. Chris actually wants Paige to meet with his fiance, whatever. And the family and friends are going to be there. So, hold on tight. We'll see where this ride is going to take us. Get down in the comments. Let me know what you all think. Do you agree with most of what I said, or do you have something else you can interject? But yeah, they're back home. The honeymoon is over, and it's getting rough. I was really surprised with my favorite couple, Briana and Vincent, but I just have the faith they're going to be all right. So as always, thank you guys for watching. Like my videos, share my videos, go ahead and subscribe, hit that subscribe button. It's been great. And then until next time, this has been Queen Amina Black Love. Much love and peace to your day. Bye-bye.